Good morning. I thought that I would try this week doing my business tip by video instead of by Instagram image. So let me know what you think about that and whether that works for you. I've been thinking a lot this week about file names and how completely underrated correct file names are, particularly because we're all thinking about innovation and saving time in our practice. And I just feel like that's a little thing that we spend a lot of time every day fishing through our lists of documents, looking for something. We know on the back of the head what we're looking for, we can't quite find it in our system. Setting up a proper file name system sounds a bit like something that an auditor or an accountant would do, and yet actually it saves you a lot of time and makes it easier for your co-workers to find everything too. This can become particularly crucial if you're doing your own marketing, because products like Canva just tend to dump everything as numbered separate files, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And also I have found that most website platforms, when you upload photos, there isn't any sort of useful structure to the way that the photos go in there. And so again, if you haven't put in sensible file names so that you can use the search function, you can be wasting a lot of time searching around for that thing that you know in the back of your head exists. So a couple of tips this morning. My first tip is, if anything is going to be obviously repeated, say you create a graphic around an event that you think you're going to run monthly, or you're writing a letter to someone in your practice management system and you know you're going to write another letter to that person, then my tip is obviously come up with a system for letter to or event at. But when you go to put the date in, one of the first things that I was taught when I was working in a professional office was that you should always put in the year. And for some reason, that just really struck me. I've developed that a little bit further over the years. And what I now do is I write the entire date backwards at the end of the file name. The reason for that is, if you save with the same file name every time, but just change the date at the end, but write the date backwards, then what actually happens is when the files get alphabetized, it will put your documents in chronological order. So it will be easy for you to find, say, the last letter that you sent to that person or the last version of an event photo that you used. So for today, the 19th of November, I would write the date 2020 full stop 11 full stop 19, and then tomorrow it would be 2020 full stop 11 full stop 20. And that would mean that when I sort by date, or by alphabet rather, it will fall into date order. My other tip is, I find that with most practice management systems out there, everything just kind of gets dumped and you're supposed to use the search function. So the point still remains, have a proper file name and not just letter to, but also most of those practice management systems allow you to create folders. And so you should make a point of, when you open a file, setting up some folders. Now, it really depends on what your practice looks like. My practice these days is mostly around estates and estate planning when I'm consulting as a lawyer. And so I tend to open up folders like, I have one for estate documents, I have one for emails to and from client. But then you also have to actually put the documents into those folders so that you can then go back and usefully find documents when you need them, rather than just having this sort of dumping of a list of documents. If you're interested in fixing up your file names in your practice, then you should definitely have a look at Family Property, because we have a system whereby we basically force your client to give all of the attachments that they send you proper document names, and then our program files them automatically against the relevant asset or liability. If you want to see how that works, you could make an appointment with Chanel to do a private demo, and she'll show you how all of that actually looks in practice. Or you could join us on the 25th of November at 1 p.m. We're having a free webinar. We'll go through all of the automation that will save you time and deal with annoying things like that, like clients sending you attachments that have random names that are assortments of letters and numbers and mean nothing. So if you're interested in finding out about any of that, then go over to our Facebook page and find the event for next week, 25 November, 1 p.m. Thanks.